If you feel like your team is a little disjointed, I'm going to show you exactly what you're missing. I'm going to show you how to solve it. So let's dive right in and let's define disjointed. It's really just, to me, unaligned, right? So everyone's going in a different direction and doing their own thing, not really aware of what anybody else in the company is doing. And for you, the result of that is very frustrating, right? You throw out all these deals, you guys have all these meetings, but nothing really changes. You can't get traction. And on top of that, right, just not only you, but everybody in your organization, right? They feel disjointed themselves, like they're just some little piece and they don't really fit and equal up to the whole. You're not getting the maximum power out of your army, right? Everyone's shooting their own bow and arrows instead of a heave, pull, and having a huge swath take over the sky. So we need to fix that, and here's why, right? The first thing is you probably sense that you got all the pieces of the rocket there, right? You assembled them, you got all the team behind you, but they're all just laying around. So you don't really have a rocket, you just got a bunch of pieces. And on top of that, you feel like you're doing things more than once. So it's like, didn't we already finish that, guys? Or we talked about it? What happened? And even past that, if somebody's sick and they call out, well, that's a problem because no one else knows what they actually do. So you got to wait for that person. Or what if they get hit by a bus or leave? Well, that's another problem, right? So that's an issue. And all of this bubbles up to you. You now become under more pressure because you probably are the only one that actually knows what to do. And you got to keep everybody together, or somebody missing a piece that doesn't really care because they're not aligned. Well, now you got to fill in that piece. And at the end of the day, once again, like that big picture thing becomes more and more real. And in this side of the big picture, if I'm working in an organization and I don't know the effect that my work has on the big picture, that if I do my thing correctly, where my work goes and how it how it gets to an end spot, well, that's going to take away from team unity and team culture. And we don't want that. We want everybody feeling, hey, the work I'm doing is purposeful. I want to stay with this company. I want to do my best for it because I see the end result. A side story to that is that was an issue with Henry Ford and the assembly line, right? Because people stopped getting to feel the whole product. So great for production, bad for humans, individuals. Well, let's dive even deeper because there is some root causes here of what you're missing. Right, in this picture, this is of a general on the right and an old-time general on the left. This is from Art of War type stuff. Well, I want you to remember this. What does a general use to command an army, right? What is required of the general at that high level in order to command them? There's something to that. Let's go to another one. What does an engineer use, right? If they're going to build a skyscraper, well, the engineer probably doesn't know how to do the windows and the paint, right? They know how to structure it all, but what do they have that they use to command the contractors? And quarterbacks, especially good-looking quarterbacks, right? Hey, well, and some people say I look like Tom Brady. I had to use this one. Well, what do they have? They've got a playbook, right? So generals with a map in the planning tent. Again, the engineer having that blueprint and quarterbacks having a playbook. The answer is very obvious. It's having a blueprint. It's having a single source of truth where everyone can look and see, okay, this is where that goes. Okay, I know what you're talking about because my piece of the house is doing this thing and your piece is doing this thing and we're going to go in this order. So that's how generals command armies, right? They pencil in and then everyone looks around and they move the pieces and that's how they go dominate. So that's all true, yet business owners, right? You're sitting there twiddling your thumbs. You have no centralized source of truth. You have no blueprint that anybody is looking at that your team can align on. And especially for remote online teams, if there's nothing we're all looking at to guarantee and confirm, hey, this is step one, this is step two, this is step three, it's always going to be a mystery. No matter how much a team member says, I got it, you don't really know if they got it. Now, bonus points, of course, if that is always being updated. That source of truth. And as I get to the solution and tell you about what we figured out, you're going to notice my little pup here. She's a real killer and she wants out. I'm going to pause and do that. Don't ever say with my videos you don't get the real raw. Well, that said, the scientific mapping system, this is a creation we made, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it because it really is the solution. Now, the solution we made, and then I'm going to tell you how you can do it without this, if you're not quite at the level to make it. But even though we're a little faded on some of the illustrations here, right? The model that we've made is a way to encapsulate your entire business into a series of maps. So you can look at one level, like you're looking at the big picture of the skyscraper. Then you can zoom in, right? And there's a way that this all connects with the processes, right? With the people and the accountabilities and the KPIs. And so you can zoom in and out and see every little piece and have it exactly where it needs to go. And then you can have people look at the map and say, okay, that's me. I've got you. Okay, I got that piece. So this is the A++ version, right, that we're going to talk about. And of course, we'll talk about the next slide in that picture in a moment. But for you, you don't need all of this necessarily. What you do need, though, is something that everyone can look at that you can go boom, 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 boom by, just like that general in a company or in an army. So I encourage you to think of that, always having some place to look at. Again, bonus points if it is the same source of truth like our mapping system at any given time, and super bonus points if it's visual. Like imagine a professor doing a bunch of mathematics in numbers and equations, and it gets convoluted and crazy. And I know this looks the same, but visuals, right? Geometry is much easier for people to understand. So that key, and I'm going to go another step further, right? Because you should not be the one doing this. If you're a visionary building a company, most of the time, like at a small scale, you should be focused on marketing and sales, especially if that's what you're good at. Maybe you're a technician and you're better at doing the thing, so you hire the marketing sales out. But nonetheless, you need to be talking about your business. You need to be above it. You need to be focused on growth. So the role that does this mapping in a company is a specialized role. It can be your integrator, it can be your director of operations, but I've found it's its own independent thing. And so this analyst role, this is one that is super, super highly underutilized and understood. But this analyst are those types that sit in the closet and just map things, make things, right? They're MBA types. And these guys will take information, process it, and turn it into the visuals. If you have that visual, if you have that source of truth, the SOT, the blueprint, and you're able to use it and put it in your meetings and show everyone everything, clarity will just notch up. There's nothing that can hide. And neither can my pup. So, all that said, I'm going to even add one more bonus point to you. On top of that, if the analyst is making it, you as a founder, you should not even be, we covered the analyst, but you shouldn't even be the person that has to hold accountability and give the analyst the information. That is your integrator. It can also be your director of operations, and I'll get in another video in defining operational roles. The mapping system, by the way, you can check out. I have other videos about that. But at the end of the day, you are the president, commanding the general. You're getting the report from the general, right? You're the owner of the team or the coach, not the quarterback. And you're the visionary, right, that wants the skyscraper made, that's finding a way to make it happen rather than actually building it. So you need an operator to do those things for you. And all of that we help cover at freethefounder.co. That is where you can find us and book a meeting. What we do is we place these operational roles and we train them on our scientific mapping system to bring all this goodness to solve all your problems operationally and get your business moving smooth so you can be free to do what you want. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.